people in my circle that tell me, honey, you stink. You need to go take a shower. And I mean that spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Someone who's going to hold me accountable, but also knows how to motivate me. It's time for you to start to seek those relationships that really take you to the next level and help you to learn and grow. What's up, y'all? It's your girl, Dr. Nina, and today I'm going to share with you guys 9 mindset habits that have really helped to change my life. They've made me more successful in all areas of my life, including my work life and career, relationships, friendships. When I was in school, I really started to implement these. At the beginning of the year, everybody talking about new me, new you, new everybody, new shoes, new clothes, new hair. To be honest, it seems like we're really not renewing ourselves. We're too busy looking at and comparing ourselves to other people. And a lot of times we just need to work on ourselves. And I'm going to provide you guys some of my favorite quotes intertwined in this, as well as some of the resources that I use that you can start to check out. I saw a video by Rowena Sai who talked a lot about her journey on her 7 habits that changed her life. So hopefully today you'll find some things that you can use in your day-to-day life that I can tell you will most likely change a lot of things about you and also change the environment around you. So let's get into it. And while I have you,
make sure you thumbs up this video if you like it, comment, share, and subscribe to this channel and also my vlog channel. Make sure that you come back on all Thursdays and some Sundays for video uploads, and also be sure to turn on that notification bell so you know when I upload.
So I want to thank the folks over at Soulful Jewelry for bringing you guys today's video. They really lace me in some really cute jewelry that keeps me authentic, genuine, and feeling real good about myself.
I'll keep it short because y'all have seen them in a lot of my videos, but I love these nameplate necklaces as well as this beautiful longitude and latitude necklace I picked this time, representing St. Louis. I also got this beautiful rose gold initial ring with my initials, as well as this black beautiful and blessed bangle, which you can pick out what you want your bangles to say. I also love, for a great Valentine's Day idea, this flowering ring that has my name on it. I thought that was so cute. With all the looks, colors, and combinations they have over on their website, I think you will love them, and the jewelry is built to last. It's going to help you feel good, and if you give it as a gift, it'll help someone else feel good. So make sure you use my link and code down below, NinaFS15, and get 15% off your next purchase. Check the links down below for all of the items I have here.
So one of the things that I had to do during my journey, I had to accept where I was in comparison to where I wanted to go in life. Whether you come from a council, a state, or a country estate, your success will be determined by your own confidence and fortitude. That's by Michelle Obama. Oftentimes, people I mentor and work with have asked me how I've gotten to this place. I'm from St. Louis. I was raised in a town called Berkeley within St. Louis. It's not like the best in places to grow up. I also grew up part of my life in Memphis. I was guilty of thinking that people just had success come to them. Maybe they came from a good family. Maybe they just had money already and they really didn't have to do much. But I think my mother stopped that pretty early, and it's never too late to stop those thought processes. I started to really observe those that simply work hard and work smart. They had to look at where they were in comparison to where they wanted to go. I knew where I was growing up. I knew the things that I was getting, and my mother did a wonderful job with very little. That taught me that I wanted to be able to give the most to those around me. So I had to figure out, what does that look like? You can't want to give to people when you haven't given to yourself. One of those first journeys was losing 108 pounds and keeping it off. I had to dedicate some time to growth. I had to become a butterfly. If you know about a butterfly, they go from a caterpillar to a whole butterfly. They go from one species to pretty much a whole nother one. And it's got to be uncomfortable. If you've ever seen a butterfly come out of a chrysalis, it's not beautiful. But when they start to dry their wings off and they start to fly, it's gorgeous. And almost everybody is taken by storm. A lot of times we're afraid to go through that growth period. We're afraid to go through the hurtful points. We have to really hold ourselves accountable in order to grow so that we can give to others. If you're a caterpillar, that's okay. Look at where you want to go. The butterfly. There's going to be battles, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be growth and pain before you get there. There's also going to be joy. It comes during the journey when you prove to yourself that you can stick to something, kick its ass, and get it done. Yes, I wanted to be Dr. Nina, but it took a lot of steps in between. I've also had to learn who I was during the process. Nothing about it was easy. I found joy in sticking with it. Sometimes we only want to stick with something for 1 minute and expect it to work. You get what you put in. Remember that.
Check the information section for my free 8-day supernatural video program, which will get you started on your way. I also love to keep memorable items around that remind me of my purpose, who I am, and what I am.
I had to learn from my failures and be able to see better for myself. If my future were determined just by my performance on a standardized test, I wouldn't be here. I guarantee you that. Again, a quote by Michelle Obama. In all the things you guys say that you consider me successful at, I can guarantee you for every win, I've had at least 20 failures and probably more. Life is too short to waste it on what coulda, woulda, shoulda been. I knew that I had to be in action. I had to be about that life. I ended one of the semesters in my first year of college with a 0.89 GPA. Let it sink in. 0.89. But I am here today, Dr. Nina Ellis Hervey, licensed psychologist, licensed specialist in school psychology, associate and tenured professor, certified professional life coach, motivational speaker, clinic director. God only knew. And I had to be willing to do what was necessary. I saw that 0.89 and I said, never again. Never. I told myself I deserved more. And if I wanted more, I was gonna have to put in more. I can say that that was the best decision of my life. It started the beautiful storm that y'all see. I wasn't gonna make excuses. Yes, I cried. Yes, I got mad. But I learned from those failures and I picked up and moved on. Sometimes with failures, we like to sweep them under the carpet, but they only gonna come haunt you later when you pick up the carpet and try to move. Look at them, dissect them, figure out what you could have done better to avoid that. And you'll start to become a problem solver. So next time you'll do things differently. Don't always be so quick to give up because you fail. Sometimes because we don't keep pushing past, we never see what could be. Instead of us thinking about that, we can actually do it.
Down below, I've linked some of my all-time favorite books like The Alchemist, which really helps you understand the journey, understanding yourself, and more about life altogether. And I also love The Secret, The Power, for the very same reason.
The next thing I had to learn to do is to not get bitter, but to get better. It is hardly possible to build anything if frustration, bitterness, and a mood of helplessness prevail. Something my mother taught me. Take the meat and leave the bones. Take the things that nourish you. Take the things that you can learn from, even if it's a bad situation. If you're ending a relationship, having a divorce, ending a job, got laid off, lost your job. If you're not really doing well on the fitness bandwagon, then if you try 5 different diets and none of those work, you still need to take the meat from those. So whatever nourished you, there was a time where you saw at least a small gain. What can you build on from that? That's the meat of the situation. The bones are the things that maybe didn't work in your favor, even though you thought it out and you thought it was right. Even though you're gonna leave the bones, you're gonna look at those bones and study them so you can get more meat the next time. There are things I didn't like in school that I hated. I didn't like having to repetitively go to a classroom. I didn't like having to always listen to someone talk or having to take a test. It strengthened my mind, my body. It also strengthened me to believe that I was able to stand the test of time. Even when things were hard, I kept pushing, I kept learning, I kept growing. So even though you might find bones, you still got some meat in there, and it keeps you getting better instead of getting bitter. And with that, you also have to surround yourself with good people. I want people in my circle to tell me, honey, you stink. You need to go take a shower. And I mean that spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. Someone who's going to hold me accountable, but also knows how to motivate me. It's time for you to start to seek those relationships that really take you to the next level and help you to learn and grow. Get a mentor who really shows you how to meet those goals and also how to see what's possible in your life. Whenever I wanted a mentor, I would always volunteer to do something for them instead of asking for things from them. Remember that a person that you consider successful, many people consider successful. You need to make sure you try to get on their schedule. Try to help them with something. Work for them for free. Do something that's going to allow you to have that personalized time with them, because that successful person, believe me, baby, they have a goal in mind and they're not going to let a lot of things get in the way. So you have to make their time just as important to you as it is to learn from them. Get a relationship that's mutually beneficial and respectful.
The books I love that help you step out on faith are Daring Greatly by Brene Brown, one of my favorites, and also Black Pearls. Even if you're not African American, it's a really good daily devotional. I also love a prayer book. I keep prayer books around because sometimes I don't know specific things to pray, especially when I really want to reach a goal. Looking to build good relationships and friendships, my friend got me this book, The Gift of Friendship. Great one.
The next thing I had to do was to be willing to be flexible and change my direction. Stay committed to your decisions, but stay flexible in your approach. Things won't always go as you envision, but that doesn't mean you can't take a detour. If your favorite highway is closed down and you still have to get from point A to point B, you're gonna find a way there. It's the same thing with your goals, but for some reason we've learned that it's okay to just give up. We don't believe in what we can't see, and that's faith. You have to make sure that you have faith in even what you can't see. That's why it's important to put good examples in front of you. Some of you all have told me you don't have people around like that. Look for them on the internet. Find different things that motivate and inspire you. Some things might be fashion. Go to the store, look at good pictures, go to an art museum. Those are things that are going to keep your mind fresh and hopeful. So that detour is important. Even if it doesn't come out the way that you want, you're going to gain something from it. But when you don't give yourself a chance, when you don't take that detour, you never learn exactly how strong you are.
One of the books I love in this area is 1 Month to Live by my pastor, Carrie and Chris Shook. Amazing book that really challenges you to live every day like it's your last.
The next thing I had to do was try therapy in spite of being afraid. Dressing up is like therapy. I feel better in myself when I've made an effort. Therapy makes you look at yourself. It's a reflective experience. And though you might think you know it all, if you really allow a true therapeutic process with a good therapist for you, you'll find that you're starting to do reflective work and figure out the motivations behind the things that you do. You'll start to think about why you might move the way you do or why you feel the way you do. I started going to therapy when I was in undergrad, and I've been in therapy faithfully for the past 7, almost 8 years. Guys, it's not a joke for me. I love to go to therapy every 2 weeks because it helps me keep things in check and aligned. Just like you get maintenance on your car, just like I hope you're taking your butt to the doctor to get maintenance on your body, you still need to get maintenance on the mind. It's not always because you have problems. That's the common misconception. We're afraid because we believe it's admission to weakness when it's actually strength. I see it as proactive as opposed to reactive. So instead of going to therapy when something happens, if you're already going even once a month, once every other month, you're gonna have some self-reflection, self-assurance, and you'll know more about you and appreciate the processes of your mind and your heart. Strip yourself down, see yourself for who you are, and become the expert on you. And I really truly believe that therapy assists with
Writing has truly assisted me in my journey in therapy. It has really taught me my strengths and weaknesses. A friend of mine bought me this It's Gonna Be Okay journal, which is for the worrier who thinks of all the things that could go wrong instead of what could go right.
The next thing I had to do was stop comparing myself to others and to be patient and kind with myself while building and upholding my own standards. Now this quote is funny, but you'll get the picture. If I don't want to feel like I need to get my together, and that's by yours truly. The one thing I had to start to realize about my fitness journey, about my career success and goals, about my school life was that my race was no one else's. If you start running in on somebody else's races, you might not even know what you're running. You might run into a race where they're running a 50-yard dash, but you came prepared to run a marathon. They might be running a 100-yard dash and you only came equipped for a 50-yard dash. So if you start running other people's races, you start to set yourself up for failure. If you don't start to make your own standards of what it means to be successful, you'll get cloudy. It's not even a race that ends. So you're trying to end a race and somebody else is still on the track. They still running. They still trying to do their thing. None of us are in the same race. And when I stopped comparing myself to other people, when I tell you it freed my world, my life, it made me feel more productive. I started to feel more like who I was supposed to be. You know, I was a late bloomer, right? So I didn't even have a boyfriend when everybody else got their first boyfriend. I used to look at that like, oh, well, I filled my time with other things. I was classically trained the piano, the cello, viola, violin, rapping and singing, doing my thing. I just think that God wanted me to develop more personally first, get my talents in order, know what I wanted from life, and start to think about what was more essential for me. And so I couldn't see myself as a part of the race. I couldn't keep on comparing myself. It was getting me nowhere. They were running off a rule book that I had no access to. The rules on their race, I didn't even know what they were. We all can win, but we have to win in our own way. You can learn from others in their story. You can learn from me, my story, my goals, but I always encourage you guys to take your own route, your own path. Use your strengths and weaknesses to get you to where you want to go, not someone else's.
2 books that help with this are Think and Grow Rich and Lean In.
The next thing I had to do was to take control of my thoughts. I had to be respectful of them, but take control of those bad boys. Bad news is that you can control nothing but your thoughts. Good news is that with your thoughts, you can control everything else. I used to be very reactive to everything, to what someone said about me, to what they said they felt about me, to a mean thing they did to me. But what I learned was that reactive stuff gets you nowhere. I had to learn that there's an order to things, and I had to learn restraint. I couldn't just jump every time somebody said something about me or because my emotions were out of whack. One thing my therapist always says is that you can't always believe what you think. We've convinced ourselves that everything we think is absolutely fact, and that's not true. You have to start to build resilience in a way that nourishes the fact that everything you think is not always reality. When a thought comes, I have to kind of change it. I have to think for the best. I have to switch it around. I have to gain more clarity and think about what I'm really afraid of and make that more positive, or divert my attention to something else until I can really return to that and think of it clearly. I don't say what I can't take back. Anything I say, I act as if I could be responsible for, even if it comes to gossip. So if I say it, I want to make sure that I could say it to the person. And if I had to stand before the person and say it, that I would say it. You can't always say what you think. You can't always think what you say is true. Don't act just because you have a thought. Take time, gain some clarity, and that'll help you get better control of yourself and also those thoughts. If something bad happens, we start to think of everything that has gone wrong in our lives, and we start to take on a victim mentality, meaning that we start to think that everything is coming against us. Nothing's going our way. But unfortunately, there are times in our lives that life is just like that. You have a choice to be more positive or to be more negative. Negativity breeds more negativity. Even if that means sitting out for a while, being upset, being hurt for a little while, that's fine. But spending all of your time being upset, hurt, harmed, and mad at the world, not cool.
I love a regular journal that I can jot down ideas and thoughts freely to help me ease my thoughts.
The next thing I had to do was experience things and find out what I love. We have to be honest about what we want and take risks rather than lie to ourselves and make excuses to stay in our comfort zone. I know a lot of us think we know it all and we know everything. Be willing to find out things are different from what you knew. Be willing to step outside of the comfort zone. You've been working that same job for 25 years and you're interested in switching careers. Maybe you should start to study a little bit. I'm not saying quit your job immediately. Start to study something else. See if it interests you, but you will never know until you try. Everyone around me growing up had their definition of what successful was, of what jobs or careers were successful. I don't remember anybody saying that I could be all the things that I've become. I had to be willing to step outside of that comfort zone, try it out, see what worked for me, and even fail a few times at different things that didn't work for me. And if you don't do that, how would you know what's for you? I always tell people to be uncomfortable with getting comfortable. You're going to be so uncomfortable when you change, when you grow, when you learn, that you have to become more comfortable in that state. If you want to build, if you want to grow, know that you're going to go through some discomfort. It's not going to feel good all the time. If you stop learning and growing, you'll be very miserable. So think of it that way. And last but certainly not least, one of the things that my channel has really honed in on is the ways that I've learned to take care of myself. And I have to follow through. Take care of your inner spiritual beauty that will reflect in your face. You have to do things like make sure that you rest. Take care of your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health. I do the things on this channel because they hold me accountable too. I love showing you different things that I'm engaging in that actually make me feel good. Exercising every day, eating well, all of those things have fed my spirit. And those are the things that help me look better from the inside to the outside. And I've been convinced that a lot of times when people see me and they call me beautiful, that they're not just seeing what's on the outside. They're seeing what illuminates from the inside. I'm truly a transparent, happy being. It took me a while to get there, and self-care was a big part of that. I can't give to others if I don't give to myself. Slow down, take your time. And those of you all that are saying you can't, then you got time for all the headaches. You got time for all the being overweight. You have the time for all the health conditions and health problems. But I hope you will want to turn a new leaf and be the best you can be. So start to take care of you so that you can help to take care of others. So I'm so happy y'all came to hang with me today to find out about these mindset habits. Make sure that you start to implement and build on your own. But I hope that these will get you started, especially since we're at the beginning of the new year. You're the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. Make sure that you comment, share this video with someone who can use it, and subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Beautiful brown baby doll. Peace.
Thanks so much for all the love and support over on my new website. If you haven't already, go ahead and check it out and join me for new ways to interact with me, giveaways and prizes, weekly emails, as well as my free 8-day supernatural video course, which is free when you sign up.